So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another Zombies Q&A on the channel, the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you go on to enjoy today's video, you know what to do. Drop a like rating if you want to. If not, it's totally fine. Thank you guys for watching. Anyway, make sure you are subscribed, but let's get into it. Here we go, and enjoy. So the first question of the day is from Vault, and you say, hey BOA, how are these wonder weapons in D Machine and Firebase C able to be made without element 115? People have told me their thoughts, but what do you think? So the thing that kind of replaces element 115 in our new zombie storyline is Ethereum. We know that 115 was a big part of our old zombie story. It was the element that was used to create a lot of our old wonder weapons, such as the Wonder Waffle, but there was also a lot of wonder weapons that didn't use 115, like the jet gun, the sliquifier. Those were just a couple, for example, that were made using scrap. There are wonder weapons that we don't know too much about, like the one from Buried. So you are right, most wonder weapons in Call of Duty Zombies contained 115, but that isn't a part of our new zombie story, and what's replaced it now almost is Ethereum. So far in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we have two wonder weapons, the DIE, or the Dime from D Machine, and the Ray Rifle in Firebase C. Technically there is three because we have the Ray Gun as well, but just looking at our new wonder weapons, starting off with the Ray K, we can find a blueprint in Firebase C that tells us more about it. It was developed in 1984 by Dr. Dimitri Kolke, and is an experimental prototype that fires fully automatic energy bolts, but also comes equipped with a ballistic vortex grenade launcher. Some of the parts it contains are an elemental converter, power cells, a barrel assembly. Unfortunately, we aren't told the exact ins and outs, but we do know when the ballistic vortex detonates, it creates a temporal distortion field, which slows down time and anything caught inside of it. So although it isn't mentioned anywhere, there's a high chance that Ethereum was used to create this. And then as for the DIEM machine, this stands for Decompressive Isotopic Estrangement Machine, which tells us exactly what it does. It was designed to collect Exo Element 1, which is another word for Ethereum, which tells us that this weapon isn't made out of Ethereum because it's used to collect it. This weapon is more like a Hoover, but I will say when you collect Exo Element 1 with it, you can then use that to fire it back at the zombies. So in a way, it does use Ethereum. It wasn't used to build it, but it can be used in killing the zombies. And obviously there are other elements that we can put on this wonder weapon as well, such as the Nova Gas, the Cryo Freeze, and the other ones. So getting back to your question, how are these wonder weapons made? Unlike the previous wonder weapons, they don't contain 115 because it doesn't exist in this universe, or at least it's not supposed to. The Ray K more than likely does contain Ethereum, but the Dime isn't, or at least it wasn't used to build it. The next question says, can you talk about the graffiti in D Machine, especially the Brutus one on the floor of Nacht? So the one thing I haven't done yet, which I've wanted to do, is take a closer look at the graffiti we can find in the Nacht building on D Machine. The reason I haven't done this is because there's no theatre mode in the game. It can get a little bit annoying when a zombie's chasing you constantly and you're trying to get a good look at it, but nevertheless it's still possible. So on the outside of the building in the spawn area, there are a few interesting things painted on the building that are worth looking at. The first one is this, a monkey skull and an astronaut helmet. The first thing that comes to mind is Dead Ops Arcade, the Cosmic Silverback. This is probably what this is representing. And I should say before we continue, the graffiti on the Nacht building was done by settlers, people who were staying here when it was abandoned. So some of the images that we see, it's strange as to why random people would do stuff like this. Why would they paint Brutus on the Nacht building? How would they know about him? So yeah, we've got the Cosmic Silverback. There's also this purple eye, which before Firebase C we would have thought maybe means nothing, but now that we've seen Samantha in that ending cutscene, her eyes have turned purple after leaving the Dark Ether. This could have been an Easter egg in D Machine telling us about that. Obviously at the time we wouldn't have known it. And then the main piece on the outside of the building is this. We saw this in the trailer. It is a red devil type of face, but who could it be? Now there is more graffiti inside that could possibly have something to do with this. On one of the staircases here you can see there is some writing that says, I feel a world, not my own. And on the other set of stairs it says, the accursed one will rise again. Could this devil face be the accursed one? Accursed means something that is under a curse. So far in our zombie storyline, we haven't really heard of anything that could relate to this. We have the Dark Ether and all of the creatures trapped within there. We've seen Order, the big giant elder god. There are other monsters and overlords trapped in there. We haven't even seen half of the things the Dark Ether holds. Could the accursed one be inside of the Dark Ether? Could it be something or someone we haven't seen? The big question is, Could it be Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man? At the end of Tag der Toten, Monty was banished to the Dark Ether. We know over time, anything that's trapped in there changes, contorts, and eventually looks nothing like its former self. I guess that would also go for Dr. Monty as well, although he wasn't a normal human as such. He was this godlike figure, so would the effects of the Dark Ether apply to him? I would still say so, but we haven't heard anything of him so far in Cold War Zombies. Maybe he's the accursed one and will rise again, this time even more evil, powerful, and more corrupted than before, now that he's been trapped in there for some time. Or the accursed one could be someone else, but this writing on the staircase is telling us they will rise again. Maybe the accursed one is Samantha. We've seen in Firebase C, she is now infected by the Dark Ether. Maybe she's the cursed one. Continuing on inside though, we have this piece, which is I don't know what that is, a rat or a pig in a gas mask. I'm sure not everything in here is going to have a meaning, but the next one we have another eye. This time this one's green, and surrounding it are some octopus tentacles. The next interesting piece to me is this one. I don't know what this is. It could be something we're yet to see, or simply could mean nothing. There's also this mask on the wall, and by the way, if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comment section below. And then the next big one I want to point out is this, a woman with green glowing eyes. She's got red or pink hair. The first person that would come to mind as to who this could be is Samantha, but Sam's hair is black, her eyes aren't purple, they're blue normally and purple after she left the Dark Ether. So who this is, we don't know. And then as we go upstairs, on the floor we have this guy. We all know who this is. This is Brutus. In fact, we can tell 100% that this is him and not someone else, because in BO4 there is a calling card or an emblem. It was one of the two that related to Alcatraz. And you can see the face guard all broken, the orange or red glowing eyes, the face. This is 100% Brutus, but why is he painted on the floor of Tag der Toten? There is no way any of the settlers that were staying here could have known him. So either it's just a random drawing they did and they just happened to come very close to a character that we know. Somehow they have seen him, or maybe it wasn't done by the people staying here and someone else. There is a lot of mystery that surrounds the artwork in Nacht. It could be as we go on throughout the life cycle of this game, as we progress through the story, we learn more, and it turns out the drawings we saw in our first map relate to a lot of things we see later on down the line. We might end up coming back and thinking, oh yeah, now we know what that means. Is Brutus going to return? I don't think so, but we have seen the Manglers come back from Gorod Karovi, so I wouldn't say it's impossible. Besides from Brutus, all around the building there's writing absolutely everywhere. Just to read some of it, it says, "Whose voice is in my head? Who were the people staying here hearing?" Maybe the voice that whoever wrote this heard in their head told them to paint the things we see on the building, and that's how they know of things like Brutus, because this voice in their head told them to draw it. Could that voice be from the Dark Ether? And finally, getting towards the end in the last few rooms, someone else has wrote he wants my help. There's artwork of another creature, a skulled face with flames coming out of its eyes. The face on this looks pretty similar to the Splitters, just the fact that it's the skull. Someone else has wrote on this pillar here, "I can feel him watching." Who could they be on about? Who is him? Who is this person talking in their heads? And for the last room we have the Hellhound, which we've recently seen in Firebase C. There is this person, another purple eye, and a few other things as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the interesting graffiti. Definitely go ahead and take a look for yourself. Some of the stuff in here, I have a feeling later on down the line we're going to know exactly what this means, but there's also some things that I don't think we'll ever get answers to. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So guys, there we go. That is it. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.